gotta be honest. I didn't know what to do with the scripture today. I sort of started at least 3 different children's moments. Scripture today is about talking about death. And I didn't really want to talk about death. You know, it's sort of hard to tell a light story or make a few jokes about death. But it actually wasn't the death itself that had me struggling, because even my littles out there know something about death. We've all seen when a tree branch might die and fall to the ground. More than one of you has probably squished a bug to get it out of your way. We know that if something is alive, it will die. I mean, imagine how crowded this world would be if things just lived and lived and lived. And today's scripture is more than about death. It's about that feeling that goes with death. And we call that feeling grief. But just not talking about hard things doesn't make them go away. Not talking about hard things makes them even harder. I hope you have an agreement with the grown-ups in your house that you can talk about all sorts of hard things. I had agreement with my children that they could ask me anything they wanted to. I might not always answer right away, but I would always come back with some sort of answer. So grief is that feeling that goes with missing someone. And we often talk about grieving a person or a pet that has died. We really only experience that feeling if it was someone who we loved dearly. Like last year, basketball legend Kobe Bryant died, and it was sad. But I didn't experience grief for Kobe Bryant. He wasn't in my close circle of people whom I love dearly. I knew who he was, but he wasn't loved by me. We can also grieve for people who are actually still alive. We might grieve for someone who isn't in our life in the way we wish they could be. This happens sometimes for one reason or another, and we have all the same feelings as if they had died. It's a really complicated grief, but I know it well. Pastor Linda has shared with us before that because we do love deeply, the consequence of that is grief. That's the price that we pay for loving deeply. And I would not give up all that love to avoid that grief. And I know that I can survive that bad feeling of grief because I can survive bad feelings. And you can too. Friends, as you go through this week, may you hear this blessing. May you recognize when you are feeling grief and see it as a sign of great love.